So, question number two is why was the PhD project important to you and why is it still relevant today? The PhD project is extremely, extremely important to me. It is one of the only organizations or experiences that I've had in the US in my life that feels like home, feels comfortable, feels like a place where I can thrive, feels like a place that is supportive and wants to see me succeed. I also felt this way in my undergrad experience at Florida A&M University, which is HBCU, a historically Black college and university. I think the PhD project is very important to me because without the PhD project, I don't think um, I would have the tools and the understanding about what it means to pursue a PhD, how who else is doing a PhD, the community around the pursuit of a PhD. The retention rates for PhD programs are um, low. Many people tend to drop out or fail or quit. Many people never get in. They apply for years and never get into a program. And so it was wonderful to have examples of or conversations about what folks are looking for in a PhD program, to be connected to people who are already in these programs. So I mentioned before I was connected to Charlie Stevens through the PhD project, who was in his last year at Ohio State. I was able to call Charlie and have a conversation with Charlie about the IB program, the International Business Program, and about the faculty in the PhD program at Ohio State. And I was able to learn who were the key players in the department, who I should be connecting with, how you should talk to these types of people. And then through his encouragement, I contacted the department and visited Ohio State, which is something that I don't think I would have known to do had I not had a conversation with Charlie. And it turns out that many successful applicants, those applicants that take the time to reach out to the university and visit the institution and meet with faculty. I didn't know that, going into the PhD application process, but because of my connection to um, the PhD project, and then they connected me to Charlie Stevens, I was able to do that. And there are many instances like this where through the PhD project network, I was able to get access to information or resources or support that was helpful for me. Another example is here at Ohio State University, at my department, Tracy Dumas is here. And so I went through a difficult time where I was going through my comprehensive exams process and I needed to retake those exams. And it was lovely having Tracy, who's part of the PhD project, to reach out to me and talk to me and check in with me and say that people are rooting for you and you can do this. Just the support and the idea of care, because the PhD process is a very lonely process, and many people decide not to do or complete their PhDs because of, not because they're not capable, but because of that perseverance. They decide not to persevere because it's just too lonely. So it was lovely. And also, I think Tracy was instrumental in connecting me to folks at the Academy of Management meeting when I was on the job market. She would introduce me to faculty she knew at other institutions. And it's because, one, we knew each other through the project, and the PhD project also kind of facilitates this mentorship relationship or encourages this mentorship relationship between members and among members of the PhD project. Also, when I was having difficulty with whether it's statistics or doing statistical analyses, it really felt like I had a community beyond my institution that I could reach out to for support and help when I needed it. So there are times where I needed to learn about a particular theory, and I could reach out to folks at Ohio State, and then I can also reach out to folks at different institutions across the country to get their take on particular uh, theories or their take on a particular field or their help with running a code, getting code to run a particular analysis. So It's very, very tangible benefit. Another really key aspect of this is the personal network that I created through this organization. I am a woman, I am a mother, and I had a child during the PhD program. And it was great to be connected to other women who are also mothers who also had children during the PhD program that were minorities like myself. So we had many things in common, and so that was very helpful in seeing other folks go through the same similar thing that I'm going through, and they're successful. And then also to folks that started with me, but I took an extra year. It turned out to be really great that these friends and colleagues I'd made through the project, they were now a year ahead of me. And so then they were able to coach me and help me figure out what I should be doing, especially when it was time for me to go on the job market. They had just completed the job market. And so they were able to just, send me ideas and materials and coach me on what to expect at, Academy of Management interviewing meetings. And Charlie even kind of read over my um, cover letters and gave me some, feedback on this. So it's many different aspects of support that's provided through the network that the PhD project plugs you into. Even when it came to my negotiations and putting my job packet together, the PhD project at the Management Doctoral Students Association, the retention arm that I had mentioned before, each year the conference is held just before the Academy of Management meeting, a couple days before. And they share with you information that's relevant to your stage in your PhD program. So when I was taking my comprehensive exams, I was exposed to tips on how to get ready and how that happens and how to prepare for that. When I was on the job market, I was taught, how to put a job market packet together by the Academy of Management organizer for the placement services at the Academy of Management. And so I was really ahead of the game in terms of, getting ready for the job market. So, you know, from things that are personally beneficial, making the process less lonely, examples of people like myself being successful, to advocacy, where you have people within the project who are willing to leverage their relationships to create opportunities for you, to very tangible things like how to apply for a job, when you should be applying for a job, how to interpret theories. Um, there are just so many benefits to being part of the PhD project that I really don't think this process that I went through at Ohio State would be as uh, wonderful as it was without the PhD project involvement or without my connection to the project. And also the funding. Every year they fund you to go to the largest conference for your field. I would not be able to do that because I did not have funding from Ohio State or any of my own personal funding to travel to these conferences. So it's really a very tangible benefit being a part of the PhD project. And why is it still relevant today? I think for me, it was relevant for me because um, I think that as a minority, you don't see many other minorities like yourself in in academia, and so sometimes that can make you feel like it's a place where you're um, where maybe you don't fit in, or it's a place where you're unlikely to be successful because there aren't many others like you here succeeding. And so the PhD project really provides a support system to kind of help you be that trailblazer. And really, their objective is to try to increase the number of minority faculty that are, in universities, so that we can better mirror our students. um, so um, I think it's really important for the PhD project to continue its work because I think there's still a dearth of um, faculty, and specifically faculty of color, in our institutions all across the country. And so, even when I step into my classroom, I think it's exciting for some and surprising for others that I'm their professor just based on the fact that I'm a woman and that I'm a minority. And I think it will be great when that becomes less of a surprise. And we're not there yet. And so the PhD project work, I think, is still important and relevant